Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Last couple of weeks have been tough on the stock market. A lot of chaos going on, a lot of fancy terminology being thrown around as it relates to the stock market as well as our economy. And I thought I'd do a video just to walk you guys through some of the things that I take myself through when I'm thinking about all what's going on with the stock market and our economy, and just to calm myself down and assess whether I'm on track to continue to build wealth and hit my financial goals. The first thing I have to determine is, do I still believe in the investment? You know, based on the information that I have in front of me today, based on the historical performance of the investment, and then also based on what I believe the investment will do in the future. So I have to take all of that information and decide if I still believe that that investment will get me to my financial goals and ultimately financial freedom. Now, if I believe that based on all the information, then I stay put. If I don't believe that, then at that point, I have to consider what my next option is. So the next thing I got to do, guys, is be careful who I listen to. There are a lot of people out there who will offer their opinions as it relates to what's going on with the stock market. Ultimately, it's my decision. I have to be the one who is comfortable with that investment. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to people and their opinions on what's going on with the financial markets. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, be careful that you don't allow someone to speak something into your life. You grab a hold of it and you just make your decision solely based on what that person said. If that person is wrong, then you have taken yourself out of a great investment that could have continued to build wealth for you. You got to understand, guys, 40% of these so-called experts are wrong. They're wrong 40% of the time. So be careful who you listen to. I certainly guard who I listen to. Don't get me wrong. I take in the information and then I discard the information that I don't agree with and is not helpful. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's my decision to make. It's my investment. It's my future. And I cannot blame somebody else if I decide to take my money out of a certain investment and that investment returns back to a profitable status and continues to grow, and I missed out because I took my money out. That's on me. So I'm going to ask you guys to be careful, listen, grab you some knowledge, but ultimately you make the final decision on what your money should be invested in, because guess what? It's your future. The third thing I do is I revisit my financial goals anytime I'm concerned that the investments that I'm currently in may not get me to my goals. So I revisit it. There's great information out there on the web that you can also use to kind of help you determine if you're still on track. And that's been very helpful for me because, you know, and it also reassures me that the current investments I have my money going into are the right investments, right? So I do research on the index funds that track the S&P 500 that I'm currently invested in. And I also do research on the individual stocks that I'm currently invested in. And I just want to see kind of what's out there, look at the analyst reports just to see what the expectation is going to be going forward for these two investments of mine, my individual stocks and my index funds that track the S&P. So once I take a look at that and I align it with my long-term goal in the market, then that gives me a level of confidence that I'm still on track to meet my goals. One of the things I want you guys to think about is, in my opinion, time in the market is better than trying to time the market. So that's why I always go back to my goals, because my goals are based around long-term investment in assets that are going to grow my wealth. And when I say long-term, I'm talking about at least 10 years. So if you guys are investing with a investment horizon shorter than 10 years, then I don't think you really give yourself the best opportunity to really experience long-term compound interest in the financial markets, or long-term appreciation if you're investing in real estate. So consider that time in the market is much better than trying to time the market. Last thing I have to consider is it time to actually change that investment? And if it is, that's okay. You just have to be ready with options. So if you're going to take money out of an investment that you believe no longer meets your investment criteria, it no longer will help you meet your long-term financial goals, then you have to replace that investment with something else that will help you reach your long-term financial goals. So if it's an index fund that's tracking a certain index, and that's what you're invested in, and you don't believe it will do the job for you anymore, maybe you need to consider a different type of financial market investment. Maybe a bond will do it, or a different type of index fund that tracks a different type of index. Or maybe you just take the money out altogether and put it in a piece of real estate, or you put it in some other asset like precious metals. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be taking that money out because you don't believe the current investment will meet your financial goals, then you should have some options ready to go in order to put that money in so that you can continue yourself on that pathway to achieving your financial goals. It is extremely difficult to think about a lot of this stuff and not allow your emotions to creep in. That's very hard. But you have to try and keep your emotions out of it, because sometimes when we let our emotions make decisions for us, in hindsight, sometimes they're the wrong decision, right? So I would ask you, keep your emotions out of it, do your homework, and you determine based on the facts whether that investment is going to be right for you or not. I think time in the market is more important than trying to time the market. You also got to understand, in my opinion, most of your wealth when you're investing in, whether it be real estate or in the financial markets, I think your wealth is built in down markets. I think that's where you pick up the value. That's where you gain the most of your momentum, is when you're buying at the bottom of the market. And then when that market starts correcting itself, wow, that's when that investment starts going through the roof. At least that's what I've experienced over my last 20 years of investing. You know, I can remember back in the 2008 downturn when everything fell apart, right? And a lot of people were panicking and they were scared, and rightfully so. It was a scary time. But, you know, I remember taking my own advice and saying, you know something, although, yeah, it's chaotic right now, I'm just going to stay the course. I'm going to continue to dollar cost average into the stock market through index funds and individual stock purchases. I'm going to continue to go out and look for below market real estate that I can buy, even though people are running for the hills and abandoning real estate and getting foreclosed on, and all that stuff was happening. I thought to myself, this is a great opportunity to buy. And it was, because between 2008 and probably 2011, I built the majority of my wealth through investing in the market and through real estate. So all I'm telling you is, if we do have a full-blown recession and everything deteriorates, don't panic. Just have money on the sideline ready to go to continue to be able to invest into the market and get yourself some great deals. And over time, those deals will turn into winners for you, in my opinion, if they're the right investments. Now, nothing's guaranteed or nothing's promised to us in any investing, right? It's all a risk associated with us putting our money in something that we could lose that money. Well, all right, guys, I appreciate you stopping by the channel. Thank you for watching this video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, and smash that like button for me. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. And I'm gonna catch you on the next video. Peace.